What's cracking, gamers? And today I'm going to be telling you about all the different ways that you can upgrade your characters with your artifacts. The best ways, because you could be doing so much more damage and you probably don't know the way, and that's why I'm here to help you out. Okay, so every character has obviously different artifacts that they are going to enjoy and like. So it's hard setting them up exactly, with everything that they will always need and everything like that. Everybody is just built different. Well, that thing's trash. Why am I using that on her? So let's go over the very basics of basics here. Now, there are two flat stat artifacts that will always have the same main stat, and that's going to be the flower up here with the flat HP, and that will also be this right here, the feather with flat attack. Those will always have the most basic of basic stats, like main stat on them. However, when you go for these, you typically want to be exceptionally picky. Because since they always have the same main stat, getting substats that are correct are typically a lot easier. And the ones that you always want to focus on, especially through DPS, mostly any character in the game, are crit rate and crit damage, and this obviously has a lot of crit damage on it, although it could be a lot better. Now, if we look at this one here, these rolls are exceptionally a lot better, so this is a really good feather since it rolled a lot of crit damage and a lot of crit rate, with only one going into HP percent, only a bit on the wasted stats. And while, yes, it does have this, really bad plus 16 flat defense on it, that doesn't really matter because all of the good stuff, the juicy stuff, is this stat right here with the plus 26.4 crit damage and the extra crit rate, almost 6% crit rate. Now, with the timepiece, you usually have to be a little bit, more leeway going on because it's hard getting the best artifacts on here. So, you're gonna probably just go, oh, this has some crit rate on it. Let's see how it rolls. And this one happened to get a lot of crit rate, so obviously it's something you want to get. You're not always going to get good attack stance because the main stat here is pretty hard to get, especially on a stat that on a set that you want. Now, you could be alpha chat out here and get this perfect artifact right here with attack on it, with a lot of crit damage, a lot of crit rate, and energy recharge. Yes, this is what I would consider a god tier artifact in every sense of the word. It's freaking gorgeous. So every time you see an artifact, especially attack sans, that has crit damage and crit rate on it, and another useful stat like energy recharge, you definitely want to level them up. The goblets are usually very picky too, and hard to get right. Mostly because, they come from a wide range of attack, defense, HP, and also a long range of elemental stuff, say like pyro damage on this. So when you see a pyro damage cup, and especially one that has crit damage and crit rate on it, and even elemental mastery, that is something you want to hold on to because it's so amazingly good. A lot of people undervalue elemental mastery, but if you're doing things like electro charge or melt vaporize, it comes in clutch and really bolsters your damage exceptionally too. And before you ask anything, this is for Toma. I understand she's a thunder character. I'm merely using her as a placeholder for a character. But a good rule of thumb is most of the time you really don't want any other thing on these cups besides elemental damage boost, because that will be the biggest bolster to all of your artifacts, especially since the cup or goblet is the only thing on it that can boost your elemental damage directly. Now, the hat is another thing that is pretty hard to get, especially one that is good and on set. Most of the time with these, you really only want crit rate or crit damage. Any other thing other than crit rate or crit damage, typically you don't want anything to do with that. You could make an argument, yeah, maybe I would want attack percentage or something on it. Sure, as long as it has crit rate and crit damage and rolls heavily into all of those, you can make an exception and say that's a pretty good artifact too. Now, this one's really tricky since you're always shooting for crit rate or crit damage. You're gonna want, obviously, the other one, the counter one on there. Say this is crit rate, you want crit damage. And this one blew me away of how well this rolled. It rolled so good. Basically, it rolled every single time into crit damage, except once into a flat defense. And this, my friends, is a god tier artifact. Because most of the time your other artifacts, say like your flower over here, are only going to have, at a really good rate here, 10% crit rate when you roll really good. Like, that's something you want to hope for, and some 20% crit. This is like the perfect artifact right here. I gotta say, this has got everything that you're gonna want on it. Energy recharge, attack percentage, crit damage, and crit rate, and it rolled into the 2 best stats. Like, this is exceptional. Every time you see one of these, you're gonna want to keep it, and you're gonna roll on it, because there's no lose in this. But with this, sometimes it's really hard to get really good substats on it, because I remember one time I got a good crit rate helm that had crit damage, attack percentage, energy recharge, and flat defense. And you want to know where all the rolls went? You guessed right, flat defense. Huh. But even if it rolls, say, just twice into a crit damage, that's generally a piece that you're going to want to keep. 3 times, that's already god tier. It's already really good. So now say you're early game out here and you're just starting off, and what pieces are you going to want to invest in? Because when you're starting off, you really don't have a lot to work with. But there is one set in general that you're always going to want to keep because it's so good, especially when you're leveling up, and you get it from generally any mob out there. And that's going to be the Berserker set. Now, I saved some good ones here just in case I would ever need them. But, like, again, these are so good. Like, this right here is such a keeper and a great one for early game. The purple attack percent, and you already have crit damage and crit rate on it. Fantastic. The 2-piece is generally what you're going to want to shoot for here, because it will just flat up give you a 12% crit rate boost, which is so phenomenal and increasing your damage. Let's just say if you don't even have any crit damage whatsoever, by at least 50% when you crit. And purples at most can come with 3 on it right here. Like, this one has crit damage, crit rate, and defense percentage. Again, really good. This is like most of the time what you can hope for at the most. The bad thing about purples though is, again, it can only go up to plus 16. And the boost that you generally get with purples, you'll probably get maybe a level 8 orange artifact that you would get, a 5-star artifact. 5-star artifacts are generally always better than purples, so upgrade when you can. So let's just say you finally got to AR-45, which is where you should start farming the best artifacts, the 5-star artifacts, and you should really focus up and try to grind as much as those as possible, because you're always guaranteed to get, per 20 resin, a single gold artifact. So let's just go through a plethora of these and see which ones I would keep and which ones that I would maybe roll into a different artifact or gamble away. So let's just go through this. This has attack sands on it. Again, attack sands is great. Unfortunately, this one right here has really only one good stat on it, which is elemental mastery. So this one I would gamble away. Now this is a flower right here. 4 stats coming with the max 4 stat line, so you will always get a good reroll on it, so it can roll up even more stats. Say if it all goes into crit damage, this would be a god tier artifact. It has potential. The only bad stat on it, really, I would say, is the HP percentage. Even if it rolled, like, say, once into attack or once into elemental mastery and the rest in the crit damage, this would still be a god tier artifact for the most part. It'd be really, really good. It'd be hard to beat it. This is one I would roll up to see if it rolls at least maybe 2 to 3 times to the crit damage. If it doesn't, I would get rid of it. This one's really simple. It's a helmet, has only healing bonus on it. It's absolute garbage. The only person that can really use it is Kokomi. And that's only if it rolls all into HP percentage and maybe some into elemental mastery. It's not really that good. And here's another one that's kind of it's kind of a copium one, but if you don't have any better artifacts, it's crit rate, so you always get that crit rate, really good to have. And what you're going to be wanting to roll into only is really the attack percentage. The flat attack is okay, but the attack percentage is the best stat they can get on this. But I would still, as soon as you can find something that has like a crit damage modifier in it, I would upgrade to that. But still, if you're just starting out, this is perfectly fine and usable, and I would use it. And here is an interesting one here. Again, I said that the rule for helmets is typically you only want crit rate, but this one, or crit damage, but this one has attack percentage, but it's a 4 stat with 3 good things on it. Crit damage and crit rate, both on it. This one, I would consider rolling, especially if it rolls onto crit damage and crit rate. It may be worth putting on over, say, like a really bad crit rate or crit damage helm. But honestly, it's hard to beat 62.2% crit damage maxed out here, and it's also really hard to beat 31.1 crit rate. It's just so hard to beat those good rolls. Here's another good example of something that I would keep and I would want to roll on to see if it gets crit damage. That's because it has 2 good stats on it, crit rate and attack percentage. If this gets crit damage, this is definitely something worth rolling on and just seeing where the potential may go. And again, if it doesn't roll that well into it, you can always recycle the piece into a new artifact, and it'll be good. Also, if you're just starting out, if you don't have a good piece to finish off a set, typically like, say, this crit rate helmet here, don't be afraid to use this as just a filler piece until you get something that's slightly better. There's no shame in using a purple piece if you don't have a good gold one, especially if you're just starting out. So always make sure to, especially on like the sands or the helm pieces or even the goblet sometimes, because it's worth seeing if you got any good pieces of this. Okay, so here we have an exceptionally, maybe potentially great piece for the Emblem of Severed Fate. It's got 2 bad pieces on it, but it's got the greatest main stat you could potentially have on it, Energy Recharge. And if it gets crit rate, this could be really good. Or if it gets another like somewhat decent stat and it all goes to crit damage, it's also an exceptional piece. So let's just see how this rolls. So we want to at least give it up to level 4. So just feed a little bit there. We got it 5 times. And holy crap, let's frickin' go, baby! And that is why, especially if you have 2 pieces that are bad, you kind of want to see. So let's just see. Let's just see if the luck continues here. Let's just see. Let's hope and pray, because I'll at least try and take one up to see if it rolls good. Come on, YouTube gods. Let's go. It's all on camera. Let's go, baby! Okay, all right. This is looking like a really good piece. I'm really happy right now. I'm really happy. Come on, keep up the good work here. Just go all the crit rate, crit damage. I'll be really freaking happy. Please, just keep up. Oh, baby, let's freaking go. Oh, my God, what a highlight. Let's go. 2 more rolls. Crit damage, crit rate. Come on, baby. It's already a fantastic piece, but please, let's go better for the YouTube gods themselves. For the YouTube gods themselves, the artifact god. Never lose faith. Never lose faith. Oh my God. A 2 times bonus too. Okay, that's a good sign. Let's feed a little bit more in there and let's see what we can get. Come on, baby. 1 bad roll into flat defense, but you know what? I'll take it. This is such a god tier freaking set. My lord, that's so good. Okay, here's a good example of something that you could have thought was gonna go a lot better, but look at this. This is so sad. Everything, it missed all the good stats and went in only the flat. Okay, this is where you would take this that could have potentially been good, but now you're just going to slap it onto this one instead, which has crit damage, crit rate, and we're going to hope it goes into those at least a few times. And look at that, it did. It went into it crit damage once and crit rate once. Fantastic. This is already an amazing goblet. All right, let's see if we get lucky. We did. It went another time into crit damage. This is a great artifact. Holy crap. What a great cup. Now this next bit is typically for the end game, and it's going to involve, again, more gambling! Yeah, I love gambling! And this is this thing right here. It's going to be on the third option here, where you get to choose between 4 different artifact sets. And basically, if you put in 3 5-star artifacts, you get one of this set out here. And this is honestly a pretty good just automatic farming tool right here. In fact, I use this in order to get a lot of good noblesse sets. In fact, every single one of these pieces that you see right here came from that gambling system right here. And it's pretty freaking phenomenal. This piece, again, could be a little bit better if it didn't roll so heavily into that defense percentage, but still pretty freaking good. Now, the one that I would typically try and go for is the Noblesse, because it could go on like a lot of good support units that are there to bolster your party and provide extra damage and buffs for them. Or you can even put it on healers sometimes if you don't have them build out. And they're pretty good. Like Xingqiu really would like this set. Bennett loves this set. It's really good on a Bennett for buffing attack even more. It's an exceptionally strong piece, and especially strong set, because it can go on so many different support characters and bolster your entire squad from it. And the best tip, there's a lot of artifact sets out there, but there is one domain that is superior to every single other, and it's this one right here that I featured. Again, has the Shimenawa set in it, the 18 attack, and this one right here where it sacrifices a little bit of energy for 50% increased damage for 10 seconds. And again, on an upcoming character such as Hu Tao, this is an exceptionally strong piece, because she hits her E, and it's down for a bit, and she'll just start wailing away on enemies pretty good. It's comparable to the Crimson Witches set. It's also really good on Ningguang, and if you have Yoimiya, a really good set for her as well, and say Child, who's just currently out. A really good set for Child too. Use the Shimenawa. And the emblem here is pretty much a best in slot for a lot of characters where you hit your E and you forget about them. Or I guess if you're the Raiden Shogun, you could slash for a little bit. But it's really good on the Raiden Shogun. It's really good on Mona. It's good on Xingqiu. It's great on Beidou. It's great on Zhang Ling. It's a fantastic set that's best in slot for a lot of characters, depending on how you want to build them. I still say Noblesse, I would probably put on Xingqiu, just because most of the time you just want him to buff your entire squad and deal some vaporizes and stuff like that. This has to be one of the most flexible domains that you can swap between new characters that are potentially even coming out. Super, super flexible. Again, it may not be best in slot for maybe some characters, but it's still almost best in slot, which is good enough. Okay, so here I have 36 out of 36 that I'm going to gamble on here. And let's just see if we get any good Noblesse pieces. Particularly, I'm hoping for a good crit rate mask. So let's see if we get something here. Just the gamble. Again, we could get nothing, but I'm hoping. Only one mask and a lot of... Goddamn, only one mask? Alright, do we get any good Elemental Goblet? Oh, we did. We got a good Electro Goblet. That is definitely a keeper. Really good right there. This one, not really good. HP, maybe a support in the future. This one is unfortunate. Maybe you could use this on Kokomi, actually. If you want a good Kokomi Noblesse support, this has 3 good substats on that Kokomi really likes. The best stats you could. So if you want to build Kokomi with Noblesse, really good choice right here. This one, 2 good stats. This one I would chuck away. This one I would chuck away, unfortunately. This one too. Another good Kokomi piece. So if I want a Noblesse Kokomi, you know what? I actually might go that route, because those are some good Kokomi pieces. This one, maybe has some potential. Trash. HP. This is a phenomenal Toma piece right here. Really good Toma piece. Wow. Okay, we got lucky on one there. Defense, something good there. That is a trash one. And defense, maybe a future character that's going to want some defense as a main stat. Maybe we get credit. So yeah, we got a good piece there. That's a we got a good piece for a nice support Toma. So again, I'm trying to help you out with some artifact building, some quick ways and quick tips to help you maximize your DPS and character potential. Leave a like if this video, helped you out. Maybe leave some comments if there's anything else I mix. If you want some more in-depth guides for every single character, maybe I'll go crazy enough on all that. But these are just some basic quick tips to help you bolster your damage. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you beautiful sons of guns again next time.